Namaste children. Welcome to today's English class. In today's class, we are going to do part 2 of the lesson, that is who will be NINGTHOU. Okay, so before we go to part 2 of this lesson, let us revise what is in part 1. So this is the story which is set in Manipur, and it tells us about the qualities of a good ruler. The king and the queen of the kingdom are really good rulers, isn't it, children? They have only one wish, that is to keep their kingdom prosper under good leadership. So they ruled the people very well, or they ruled the kingdom very well. Even the people of the kingdom also loved and respected the king and the queen. So it is not only these people respected, but also all the creatures, including the birds and the animals, loved them. So the king and the queen had 4 children, and they have 3 sons and 1 daughter. So the daughter's name is Sanatombi, who has really good heart. Everyone loves her, and the king wants someone very kind and empathetic to rule the kingdom after him. So thus he decides to choose one of the future king who will keep the kingdom happy after him. So what does he do for that? He keeps a contest, and all the 3 sons, they finish the horse race together. So now he is in a dilemma, what has to be done, and later he decides that they need to perform other skills, and based on that they are going to decide. So now let us see what are the different skills the 3 sons are going to perform in front of the king and the queen, and also the people of that particular kingdom, that is the Candlepuck. So in this particular lesson, or in the second part, we will come across certain other words which are in Manipuri language, children. So already you know what is this banyan tree is called, that is Kongne, and we have other 2 more words, that is Tauro Tauro. Tauro Tauro means brave, bravo bravo. So when anyone performs a skill which is very bravery, so which is not done by others very easily, so we call it bravo bravo. And also certain skills which are very excellent, we'll say wonderful. So wonderful is called as Fijai. So what it is called, children? Fijai. So these are the 2 words which we come across in part 2. Is it clear? So now let us go on to part 2. Where did we stop here, children? Yes, see here. So from here we'll do it. The NINGTHOU and Lima turned to their sons. The NINGTHOU said, Sanajoba, Sanayaima, and Sanatomba, you have proved that you are fine horsemen. So 3 of them, their 3 sons, have proved that they are the fine horsemen. That how did they prove? By coming first. All the 3 came first in horse riding. So do something different, each one of you, so that we can decide who will be Tangi NINGTHOU. So now he informed those 3 sons to do certain other skills, so that based on that they will decide who will be the future king. So now we'll continue, children. Suddenly Sanajoba mounted his horse and held his spear straight in front of him. He looked around. There was a hush among people. What is Sanajoba, the eldest, going to do? They thought to themselves. So now the eldest son, he performs the skills. He performs one of his skill in front of the king, queen, and the people of Candlepuck. Okay, so what is that he is going to perform? Suddenly Sanajoba mounted his horse. Mounted his horse means he sat on his horse and held his spear. Spear is, it is a weapon, or it is a sharp object. Okay, weapon he had in front of him. He looked around. So he looked around. Okay, there was hush among people. So hush means quiet. All the people were not talking, they were very quiet, and they're going to see what is the skill which he is going to perform. What is Sanajoba, the eldest son, going to do? They thought to themselves. So they thought, so what he's going to perform. Sanajoba then looked at the huge Kongne standing majestically in distance. So what is this Kongni? That is the banyan tree. So he looked at the banyan tree. It is standing majestically. So what is this majestically? Means very powerful. It looks very beautiful. Okay. In distance. In distance means it is very far. He pierced the tree and jumped his horse right through it. So what did he do? He pierced. He pierced means pierce refers to break through. He broke that particular tree and he jumped off his horse. So that is the skill which he had performed. So what he did, he broke that particular tree with his spear. Bravo, bravo, the people shouted. That is Thauro, Thauro. And then they fell silent. So what happened? All the people, they started saying bravo, brave means very bravery act he had done it. That is he pierced the tree, no? So pierce means he broke that particular tree. So everyone shouted saying Thauro, Thauro. That means bravo, bravo. Okay. Now, so that is the first son who had performed his skill. Now coming to the second son. Now it was the turn of the second son, that is Sanayaima. So what is the second son's name? Sanayaima. What would he do? Sanayaima too looked at the Kongni as he mounted his horse. So even Sanayaima also looked at that banyan tree, which is powerful and very majestic and very beautiful. Okay, he also looked at that tree. Okay, and as he mounted his horse means as he got seated or as he climbed on the horse, and then he too rode towards the tree harder and harder. So he rode means the banyan tree is some far distance. So from his place to that banyan tree there was some distance, and he rode very fast and very harder also he rode it. Okay, the people watched in silence, afraid even to breathe. When he was really close, he urged his horse to jump. Higher and higher the horse rose until horse and the rider jumped clear over the huge tree and landed on the other side in a wonderful motion. So what happened here? All the people were very quiet and they were afraid to breathe, because this second son, that is Sanayaima, he was coming very fast, very harder he was coming, and everyone were quiet. And what did the second son do? It He had urged his horse to jump. Urged means requested. He persuaded the horse to jump higher and higher. So he made the horse to jump higher and higher till he rose, okay, till he was over the huge tree. Okay, so over the tree he has jumped with his horse and he landed on the other side. And that was really a wonderful motion. Wonderful motion is wonderful movement or the skill which has been performed by the second son. So he with his horse he had jumped over the huge banyan tree. So this is the performance of the second son. Okay, then, so what is the reaction of the people? So the people breathed in relief and said in unison. Unison means all together. Fijai, Fijai, wonderful, wonderful. So everyone breathed in relief means when they see certain act. Okay, so all were wonderstruck. They were in silence. They were quiet, and now with a relief, they relaxed that he had jumped and finally he had landed on the earth. Okay, so finally he had landed. So for his skill they started saying wonderful, wonderful was his performance. That is Fijai, Fijai. Okay, and now it was the turn of the youngest son, Sanatomba. He too rode his horse towards the Kongni, and before anybody knew what was happening, uprooted it. So what the third son has done it, that is the youngest one, Sanatomba. He too had rode on his horse and he came towards the banyan tree, that is Kongni, and then the people did not guess what was he doing it. So people did not even know, okay, what was he doing or what was happening over there. So with a suddenly he had uprooted it. So what did he uproot? He had uprooted the tree. Uprooted means along with the roots he had removed that particular tree. Okay. Triumphantly he carried the tree to the NINGTHOU and Lima and laid it at their feet. So what did he do? He felt very victory. He felt very joyous. He felt as if he has achieved some great thing, that is uprooting the tree, no? So he felt like that, and he carried that particular tree to the king and the queen, and he laid it in their at their feet. Okay. Shouts of Thauro, Thauro, Fijai, Fijai filled the mountains. So all the people, they were saying, bravo, bravo, wonderful, wonderful, everything. It has filled the mountains. It has filled that particular place. The people grew restless. Okay, why were the Ningto and Lima taking so long to make the announcement? So the people were restless. Restlessness, they were unable to relax. They were very anxious. They were feeling very much worried. So whom he is going to select, or whom he is going to announce? And they were thinking, why this king is taking lot of time to announce the leader? So if they announce the leader, they can be relaxed. Okay, now we'll see the next one. They carried their necks to see what was happening. Sorry, they craned their necks to see what was happening. So crane their necks means, that is, you will, if something is happening, what you will do, you'll stretch your neck to see, okay, what is happening there. So they craned their necks means, they refers to the people. Craned means to stretch towards the object which is of attention. So here, as the king and the queen, what they are going to decide, so that they had, and they, all the people, they craned their necks, they stretched their necks to see what is happening there. Okay, like that. Okay. The Ningthau and Lima were watching Sanatombi, their 5-year-old daughter. She looked sad and lonely. So now what this king and the queen were doing? They were looking at the girl, at their daughter. So what was the age of the daughter, children? Yes, 5 years old. She's just 5 years old. And she looked very sad and lonely. So now let us see why she looked sad and lonely, children. She stared at the Kongni, which lay dead by the throne. So she she stared means she looked at the banyan tree. So that banyan tree was uprooted, no? So the roots have come out. So uprooted means it will die. So it is dead. So it was laid dead on that particular place. So that she looked at it. Birds flapped worriedly around, searching for their homes in the tree. So all the birds lived on that particular banyan tree. So all the birds, they were flapping their wings with worry, and they were searching, where is our home in that particular tree, because the tree is dead, no more. Sanatombi walked up to the Kongne and whispered, the Kongne is dead. It was hurt by the spear and now it is dead. So at first, this banyan tree, that is Kongne, what happened to it? The elder one, what did he do? He had he had hurt that particular tree with his spear. And later, now the third one, what did he do? He had completely uprooted it. So now it is dead. The people were all attention. The Ningthau stood up. He looked at the 3 boys. He looked at the little girl. He turned to the people. If anybody is worthy of becoming the ruler, he said, it is little Sanatombi. So what did he do? He says to all the people were all attention. So everyone were in attention. They were all looking at the girl. The girl was feeling very bad. She was very lonely. She felt very sad looking at the tree. Okay, so now Ningthau, what he did, the king, he stood up and he looked at the 3 boys and also the little girl, and he looked at both of them, and then he turned towards the people and he started saying, if anybody is worthy of becoming a ruler, worthy means if anyone deserves to become a ruler, then it is the little Sanatombi. She is 5 years old. So this little Sanatombi, she will be the queen, or she will fulfill that particular throne, or she will be placed on the throne. It was she who told us to look at the souls of Kongne. So now what he says, it is this girl, it is this little girl who told everyone, who told even the king, queen and the people to look at the souls, look at the soul of that particular tree. So now do we say that banyan tree is dead? Okay, so if any person is dead, then if person dies, then we say that he is dead. But here this girl, even she has seen the soul of the banyan tree and she says that it is dead. Okay, so she informed everyone to look at the soul of the banyan tree. Sanatombi, you can see here children the picture, how she's feeling. She feels very bad, she is very sad, she's very lonely, and also you can see the birds. So these birds, they have lost their home, there is no home for them. Okay, because it is uprooted, the tree is dead. Okay, see how she's holding that particular tree and she's weeping, right? She's very sad. Now it was she who the it was she who told us to look at the soul of, that is the previous one children, it is here. Mm. It was she who told us to look at the soul of the Komni. Sanatombi feels the pain of others. Now the king says that it is Sanatombi who told us to see the soul of the tree. Okay, and she is feeling the pain of others. She feels the pain of the people, the animals, the birds, and the trees. So the king informs all the people that it is this little girl who told us to see the soul of the tree, and also she feels the pain, pain of the people. Okay, and also not only the people but also the animals, birds, and the trees. So I declare Sanatombi the future Lima of Kangilpak. So now he declares to all the people that it is this girl who is going to become the future Lima of Kangilpak, okay, future queen. The NINGTHOU said. A silence fell. Everyone turned to look at the little girl, their future queen. So now everyone, they looked at this girl. She's the future queen. There she stood, all of five. So all of five means she has all qualities. Okay, all the different qualities. Qualities of taking care, qualities of seeing the pain in the people, qualities of looking after the animals, looking after the birds and the trees. So her soul is very pure, her soul is full of love, her heart is full of love. So it is she stood all of five like a small cogne. So you can see here in the picture how she stood. See here how she stood. Okay, and she stood all of five with all her good nature. She stood, and she is um, with birds flying like a small cogne. So like a small banyan tree, like that she stood there with birds flying all around her. So all the birds were flying around her. They sat on her shoulders and on her head. You can see the birds which sat on her shoulders, children, and also on her head. Okay, they sat. She held out her hands full of grain, and the birds flapped about her, pecking at the food. So what did she do? She held her hands straight, and in her right hand you can see some grains, children. And what are the birds doing? They are pecking the food. They are striking with the beak in order to eat that food. A Lima is one who doesn't hurt anybody in the kingdom. So finally, Lima is being selected as the queen of the kingdom, as the queen of the place, that is the Kangalpak. So this is written by Indra Mukherjee. Now, what did we learn from this particular story, children? So this is really a very great story, a very interesting story. So from this story, what did we learn? Yes, this story is a great lesson in telling us about what makes good rulers and how we must all be empathetic to everyone in order to make our world a better place for everyone to live in. So we should be very empathetic, that is, we should understand other people's emotion, and we need to behave in order to make the place, or in order to make this earth a better place for everyone to live in. Is it clear, children? Thank you.